Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, unbelievably, we are back with career mode again. And I'm just showing you my settings that I'm using here. So 110% ultimate AI and using no assists. And we'll be looking at the R&D tree as well for the upgrades that I've already done, which haven't actually come into effect yet, but they will be for next race, which we'll be able to see. So you can see Epic Ferrari is actually the fastest car at the moment, but you can see last race before China, we actually put in some upgrades, which I'll probably zoom in on a bit. So you can see we've half purchased the central under tray. You can see Ferrari is actually the fastest car with Red Bull in second, but we haven't got enough resource points to actually buy anything else at the moment. So we're going to have to wait for next track, which is... I can't even think what next track is. Is it Sochi? I'm trying to even think. I think it is Sochi because that's my next track in AOR. But Sochi next. And yeah. So basically it's still a stock Sauber at the moment. But coming into this race, we could see the straight line speed seems to be pretty reasonable. At the end of the straight, seems to be able to maintain it. It's just through the corners, the aerodynamics. It's something, once we get the resource points, to actually focus on purely. So... looking into this now, vehicle management, we haven't had to change any parts yet because at the moment it seems okay. I don't know, obviously, any advice on when I should really change the parts or what kind of percentage once it hits 60 or 70%-ish. But for now, seems to be running smoothly. Coming into this race, I was pretty optimistic, to be honest, considering what happened the past two races, which I was surprised on. I was pretty optimistic of us getting in the points again and potentially getting a shock result maybe. So using the setup I used in AOR, literally exactly the same I believe for this. So 2.5 wing, 8 ballast, 60 differential, and then turn down 50 in the race. But these are my settings. So people ask me for my controller settings. These are my controller settings. So all on zero, using just a normal Xbox One controller. All on zero, and we'll move on to the force feedback, that's default as well. I don't think I've ever changed that, so it's all on 100 and all zero for everything else. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. And yeah, next race we really do plan to upgrade, hopefully some more parts instantly for next race, because I think we are definitely going to need it sooner than later. But coming across the line now, already set a lap of a 31.4, which I wasn't really that happy with. It didn't really seem that good. But coming to turn one, we've got a little bit of a distraction as multiple cars going into turn one, which makes us miss the apex ever so slightly. So not a great start to lap already. As you can see, we're just barely green coming out of turn two. And now we've got the car of Palmer in the Renault actually ahead of us as well. Managing to take that corner quite nicely, getting good traction coming here. So you can see now we're starting to go up in the delta. But the dirty air is going to come into effect. You can see we slightly missed this apex, gone slightly wide here as well. So just the little things, and going too much on that curb again because I was expecting a bit of dirty air, so I turned in slightly earlier, and then it just didn't really help us too much. Of course, we're in the red, we're not even in the green at the moment. But trying to get a good exit off here, do a slingshot coming off this corner. But at least we'll have some slipstream, so you can see now we're actually gaining some time back again. But the dirty air, as we've already seen in previous episodes, and I've always talked about it, is a big thing on this game. So this is not helping us, but managed to still go reasonably flat out. I thought he was going to let me pass, but he didn't, and we just completely not the optimal line for here as we were going green, and now we're losing time again. So pretty unhappy with this lap. I could have restarted it, but I wanted to be realistic. I'm just doing it out the box for this, but see, squiggly on the exit again because of the dirty air, and we're going to gain some time through the slipstream, but we barely improved the time, where I thought we could have gone a few tenths faster than the time we did. But let's see where that puts us. That puts us in 17th, which is our worst qualifying of the season, and I'm not really surprised because that wasn't a great lap, to be honest, as well. So I was getting pumped for this race now because I wanted to justify where we should have actually finished, which I think would have been P12 or something like that in qualifying. So focused on getting a good start here, but as always, respecting the AI going to turn one. So getting a reasonable launch. So Stroll gets a really, really good launch, but we managed it. The second part of our launch seems to be pretty good. We're going to choose the outside rather than the inside. but that's probably not a wise decision because we're just boxed in by a lot of cars here, so there's not really too much we could do. Magnussen's going out wide. We've actually been hit by Palmer as well, so he's not giving us any room, and he's actually squeezing us a little bit as well, which is I wasn't really too happy about at the time. But he's going right down the inside as well, so he's been super aggressive going to here. But we've maintained our 17th place, but we're really looking to move up the grid, hopefully into nearer the points positions as soon as possible. So going through here now, going down the inside. They break very early for this. Managed to get Palmer, but Magnussen managed to hold it round the outside. And the Haas has normally traditionally been pretty reasonable around this track, whereas we're going to go down the inside, going to the double left. There's no way he can really challenge that, but he actually still holds it round the outside as well, which we're going to get a little bit of a nice replay feature of this, going down the inside, making our car right on this left-hand side. Nothing you can do. You couldn't really turn into us there, giving him no option but to leave some room. And now that is just about the move done. So we've made up 2 positions now on lap 1 into 15th place. And we've got to pull it up into Rich hopefully shortly to try and catch the group of cars ahead of us. Because that's our only chance. If they start battling, that's going to be our chance. But we'll see how the car performs around here. I don't know if the wearing of the parts or the components is actually taking effect. I'm guessing it will definitely not make it its true potential in lap time. It will definitely make it a bit slower compared to when it's fresh, obviously, so something to pay attention to. But Magnussen has actually got really good straight line speed despite us having 2 in a front wing. He's going down the inside, but we're going to try and outbrake him, just about outbreaking him, leaving him some room when the inside of the corner, and that is us still maintaining 15th place here. But I was really keen to push on and really try to catch this group to really try and battle for the points because I was really desperate. And I was kind of surprised because I thought, considering what we did at the other tracks as well, that Australia and China being very twisty, I thought this would be more suited to the car. But at the moment it appears, as I said, maybe it might be a component factor of the components wearing or stuff like that, but it seems to be not really too strong around here at the moment. So the qualifying definitely didn't help. I think we should have started maybe a few positions higher than this, which maybe would have helped us. We might have been amongst that group already rather than try and chase it down. But Magnussen, really, the Haas has a really good straight line speed around here. So at the moment, we can't really look ahead. We're coming more pressure under behind and looking forward to actually try and gain some positions. So it's a bit frustrating because I just want to try and push on, put in some consistent laps. But Magnussen is not really allowing us to at the moment. But right now, you can see in the middle sector, we gained some time in that middle sector through the actual twisty parts of this track and under braking, as you can see again, and through this corner and the last corner. That's where we're making up most time. But to be honest, around Bahrain, there's only real 3 heavy braking zones. This braking zone is not really that heavy because it's still carrying a lot of speed through here, but it's mainly turn 1 and turn 3. And you could maybe argue the last corner, but again, you still carry a lot of speed through there. So it's really turn 1 and turn 3 are the real heavy braking zones where I feel we're actually the strongest under braking compared to the other cars. But we don't really have that opportunity around here. And it seems the straight line speed, as I said, it doesn't really seem to be that strong around here. Maybe the AI are running a super fast straight line speed setup, or my belief is that maybe the components are starting to wear and it's definitely affecting the straight line speed. As Magnussen again, he's being really forceful. He's not backing out, but despite us trying to really deter him going down the inside, but he's still trying to put his foot in down the inside. But we have to outbrake ourselves once again to maintain that position, and we can get close to the cars ahead of us as we're doing a nice little replay up here. You can see acting like how he does in real life, not really afraid of any other cars, but we can catch the cars ahead through the middle sector, but we just can't get close enough to really launch an attack on the straight. So you can see here, really up their gearbox, but losing some traction through that dirty air as well. And you can see on the straight here, we've been dropped about a car length for 2 car lengths at the moment. So it's going to be very difficult unless they start squabbling, going side by side. It's going to be very difficult as Sebastian Vettel is actually going out of the race as well. So at least that actually makes us go up 1 position, and that means the group ahead of us is fight for points. Ahead of us, I think that the guy ahead of us will be in 10th place, so that if we can actually start battling this group, this is the fight for points. So we're only a second or so behind the fight for that, so at least that kind of helps us out. But again, you can see the car's becoming a little bit unsettled here, so But again, we're going to have to defend. We can't focus ahead. We've got to focus on behind, on our rear wing. Magnussen, who's going around the outside once again, but we're going to try and spot a braking point, just braking 5 to 10 metres later than him. Managing to clip the apex pretty nicely there. Try and get a slingshot here. I think Sainz, or Sainz, as people point out to me in the comments. So Sainz, I think there's corner cutting a little bit there. So I think he's starting to hold up this group. As now we've got to start thinking about our tyres, because the car, again, it doesn't feel that great. As people going side by side ahead of us, we have to defend as well. As Magnussen maybe thinks about doing a little bit of a dummy switchback. It looks like Sainz again is corner cutting big time, so I'm surprised he might get a penalty at the end of our race again. And now this is what we wanted. This is the fight for points. I think someone's actually pitted already ahead of us, so we could get amongst these cars, but we're going to go around the outside, respecting the cars around us as well. We're going to give room on the inside, trying to hold it around the outside. So that's into 11th place, so it's just one position off. And now going for a switchback, going down the inside of Massa, trying to leave him some room on the exit, which we just about managed to do. But he gets really good traction, and we get a snap of oversteer. So we're one position away now for points, if we can do this. So let's see what the car's reacting like around here. The traction seems to be reasonably good, but as you can see, we're going to box this lap, because the car now is starting to feel pretty squiggly. As I think, I'm not sure who that was, I think Grosjean continues, and I didn't know Massa was actually going to come into pits, but he actually does it at the last minute as well, so maybe he was trying to trick us to go on. But we're going to go into the pit stop now, and this is crucial. We cannot be held up by these cars. We get held up, it's going to really ruin our race. So going into here now, try and get a sub 3 second pit stop, and we've been held, and we've lost that position to Magnussen, or Grosjean, sorry. And yeah, when you get held in this game, you can't pull out just directly behind him again. You have to wait another second or so. So realistically, you probably lose almost 2 or 3 seconds. So we are right in the back of Massa going to the pits. And look at now, we've probably lost 2 seconds or so, 2 or 3 seconds, which could be vital for the race, because if we could have gone out ahead of Grosjean or right behind Massa, then we could have stuck with him in DRS and maybe done something for the race. But that was super frustrating. But we're going to go across the line now as some other people go pit, or coming out of the pits. And let's see, we go back into 15th place. But luckily there's a group ahead of us, so if they can start battling again, which I think the 2 Haas teammates have started to do, is Magnussen has actually come out ahead of us despite him being behind. So he's managed to actually, what's the one, not undercut, but go further and still come out ahead of us, cut, whatever that is, but the overcut, yeah, let's call it that. But yeah, that's frustrating, because I know he's very quick in the straight line as well. It seems the 2 Haas cars are very, very quick, so it's going to be very difficult for us to get past them. But still, we're going to try and fight to the end, do as much as we can, and this really just amplifies or signifies that we really do need some upgrades in this car, because we need that. We need the ability to actually stay with them in the dirty air. That's definitely something we do need, and maybe I might even think about doing something on the power unit perhaps. So as always, any advice of what direction you think I should go in? Me personally, I'm still going to focus mainly on the aerodynamics and durability. That's something I think I'll definitely focus on, because if we can get close to them in the corners, I think our main opportunities to actually overtake are actually through the corners themselves. So I'm still going to focus on the aero, but this race, it couldn't end sooner, because I just want those upgrades for Sochi. And with Sochi, that super long straight, it's going to maybe suit us okay there, but the straight line speed around here doesn't seem to be that great. So maybe we might even take a penalty for like a gearbox change or something like that, or maybe an engine component change maybe. But I still don't think the wear is that heavy enough yet for me to do that. But obviously I'd like to see what you think regarding that. But coming towards the end of lap 11, we haven't been able to keep with the front group. We've been driving really, really well, but we just haven't had the pace to keep it. And now Palmer has actually started to catch us, and now it's this battle for pride now. We've just got to try and maintain this 15th position. And if we could do that and then take that going into the next race. So now it's just the case is just defending that, because we were just a few tenths slower than the guys ahead of us. Our teammate, I think he is in 19th place, so at least that's one thing. We're beating our teammate every single race. But yeah, now we have to defender from Parma is going right around the outside, so he's being very, very bold, trying to actually outbreak us. So he's breaking super late as well, but we managed to just claim the inside. But yeah, if we maybe got a better qualifying, you could have been amongst it, but I still think it probably would have been very, very difficult to get points around here. Because most of this track is just purely on power, and yeah, heavy braking is not really a necessary advantage around here. But now coming on to the last lap, got to defend this because I did not want to lose this position. That would not be good. So outbraking him, but he's actually trying to outbrake us, so he's braking super, super late. But we just managed again to just hold it down the inside, and now skipping towards the end of the lap. You know, Parma's right behind us now. And you can see that gap ahead of us has just extended even more. So I don't know how many seconds that is, 4 or 5 seconds maybe. So it's 3 point something seconds. So a big gap ahead of us. But I think Lewis Hamilton has actually won this race, as we just saw there. And now we just got defenders to the line, so we shouldn't be passed before this. So coming off the last corner, trying to get a good exit of this. Rich Mick still got a little bit of fuel left, and now we're going to come home in 15th place. So quite a frustrating Grand Prix, but again, something I really enjoyed, because having to really fight it out and really fight in and put in those laps. Frustrating with the qualifying, but it gives me confidence, and I'm looking forward to having some upgrades to see what direction we can go in and how much more competitive we can actually be. So hopefully you enjoyed that race. Thank you so much for the support on my previous 2 videos. I'm actually really enjoying this, so I really hope you're enjoying it as well. I'll do the R&D tree next time. Hopefully we have some more instant upgrades, but again, thank you so much for watching, and catch you next time. Cheers.